So I think a lot of us come to this practice of meditation either as a way to heal or as medicine. I know a lot of us have found a lot of healing through meditation, and we use it when we're feeling down. We use it to keep us centered and focused, and we use it to keep us connected. And I think that is true for other places as well, whether maybe it's yoga, maybe it's getting out in nature or doing some sort of exercise. And for me, one of the places that I find a lot of medicine is through music. And one of the artists that has been kind of a soundtrack to my past few years has been Trevor Hall, and he's a kind of like a conscious musician, I guess you could call him. And a lot of his lyrics have just really been supportive during times when I've been in doubt, and times also when to celebrate the journey. And there's a lot of meaning that I put to it. I think that's true for all of us and any of the music that we listen to, right? We go to it as it's a supporting role in our lives. And I was listening, he has a new album out called In Through the Body, and I was on a run and listening to the album. And as I was running, I kind of had this inspiration. I was like, well, I love this themes. What if I made a meditation around this theme and kind of talked about some of the songs that were in this album? And at first I had some doubt around that, but I leaned into it and I said, yeah, that could be fun. And so that's kind of what we're going to be working through. And so you don't have to know who Trevor Hall is. You don't have to know this album to get a lot out of this. The theme is in and through the body. And I love this because it's in two ways. And we learn in meditation to allow emotions, to allow the uncomfort, whatever we're experiencing, like through mindfulness, we let it come, we become aware of it, we don't react to it, and we let it move in and through our body. It has a season. And so there's that aspect to it. And then also on the other end of moving in and through the body are things that we want to create in our life, or our ideas that we have in our life. And a great example of this is me having the idea as I'm running to do this kind of meditation, right? I could go into my doubting mind and my limiting mind and say all the reasons why I couldn't do it, or it's not a good idea, but a lot of times we do. But instead, when we get ideas and we get inspiration, they're there just similar to the discomfort, is that we can allow them to move through and get it out of us instead of our mountains in our mind that are causing us limiting beliefs or whatever that is. And if you hear any great, or any writer or any great screenwriter, they'll say that I had this story inside of me and I had to get it out. And so there's a similar creative aspect to moving in and through the body. So we're going to use those two main themes in the practice. And then I'll weave in some of the lyrics and some of the songs from this album specifically. Again, you don't have to know who Trevor is or this album to get a lot out of this. But if you do know it and want to explore it afterwards, then it could be fun to make those connections. So with that, let's go ahead and start to come into our body and begin to close down your eyes, allowing the weight of your body to sink down, feeling the heaviness of your thighs and your legs, relaxing the shoulders, softening through your face, softening through the face. And also keeping a gentle lengthening throughout the body. So 3 places that we can connect with our breath are either the belly, the chest, or in and out through the nose. And so finding maybe one of those places that you find supportive, when we're in the belly or the chest, we can kind of feel that expansion of our body a little bit more. And then if you find the nose, it can be a little bit more of the sensation, really feeling the quality of the air moving in and out. And so picking one of those and allowing your own rhythm of breath to help you ease and settle your body in. Allowing yourself to further relax with each inhale and exhale. And then shifting the awareness of the breath from one point. And I'd like you to imagine as if your whole body was breathing in and breathing out. So as if every pore of your body was taking in oxygen, and every pore of your body was releasing and relaxing. Just notice if that shifts the awareness. And so as we continue to ground, we're going to connect with one of the earlier songs on this album called Without Expectation. And it's this idea that all of you is welcomed here. He says in it, "Come as you are." In this place of practice, there is no comparing, no measuring. There is no one you have to be, nothing you have to do. You belong here. And as you breathe, imagine that the room that you are in is filled with love. And this love can hold you, can hold all of you, even the shame, the guilt, the fears, the doubts. This love is like the sun, fills everyone, everything, and it does not judge. It can all be held in this loving awareness. And so imagine that love inside of your room coming in and out through your whole body. And as you do this, really embracing yourself, embracing where you're at in your journey, knowing that your timing is perfect. And as you feel this love, as you embrace yourself, feel that energetically you're letting your guard down. No one will judge you because there's nothing to judge. You are loved You are whole and you belong. And as you embrace, maybe you find it supportive to repeat those words. I am loved. I am whole. I belong. And then taking a few more moments to rest in this loving awareness. And then together, let's take a full breath in. And full breath out. And so we know we can rest in this awareness, and we're going to come back to it later. But for now, I'd like us to take a little journey together. So in your imagination, I'd like you to imagine that you are walking in a desert landscape. And so whatever comes to mind, may have some mountains or it could be bare. And as you walk, I'd like you to pause and just look up at the sky. It's bright and it's blue. And even though it's a desert, it's perfect temperature. So feel the warmth of the sun. And I'd like you to sense your mind as wide as this sky. Feeling that expansiveness, that spaciousness. Staying here. And the truth is, we'd all love to stay in the light and the warmth. But life tends to have other intentions for us. And so you imagine that all of a sudden some darker clouds start to roll in above you, blocking the light, covering the sun. And there's a song on this album called Great Storm Clouds, where Trevor says, I got darkness, I got light. I got everything in between. Don't deny, or it's like cutting branches off of my own tree. And so we have these two sides of us that are both welcome, our yin and our yang, our dark and our light. And if we live just in the light, sometimes we can repress our darkness, which never really works out. And so welcoming these two sides of you, your darkness doesn't make you bad, it makes you whole. And then thinking about what these dark clouds represent in your life. What is a pain that you might be carrying or a difficulty you're facing? And see if you can notice if there's any tightness or tension in your body as you imagine these dark clouds over you. And just being with it and inviting it in for a few rounds of breath. And so we can allow these to be here. We can let it move in and through the body like a passing wave. And so to help us do that, I'd like you to imagine in your visualization that you leave your body and start looking down at yourself standing there in the desert. Observing yourself as being with this pain. What do you wish for yourself from up here? And I'll offer some words that you can send down to yourself as support. Your darkness is a doorway to your light. You are so strong. You are a warrior of the soul. You are loved. You are whole. You belong. Your darkness is a doorway to your light. You are so strong. You are a warrior of the soul. You are loved. You are whole. You belong. And so send one or a few of those words to yourself for another moment or so. And then see yourself morph back into your body on the ground, feeling all of that energy you just received, and being aware that the pain or the resistance might still be there, and that's okay. And then bringing this into yourself, repeating to yourself, my darkness is a doorway to my light. I am so strong. I am a warrior of the soul. I am loved. I am whole. I belong. In the song he says, great storm clouds holding rain. It's part of nature to hold a bit of pain. And so just like the rain clouds above you, the difficulty you carry is part of nature. It has its season. And so there is always sun shining above these clouds. And so using the metaphor of the sun shining to connect to whatever higher power you connect with, whether that's the universe, Great Spirit, God, I'd like you to imagine that essence pouring down through the clouds. And then find one or a few of those affirmations to continue to repeat. And as you do, imagining the rain starts to fall down. And the water cleanses your body and starts cleansing away that difficulty through your body. Until once again the sun is shining and you can feel that great presence above. And then together, let's take a full breath in and a full breath out. And so now that the sun is shining again, continue walking through the desert. And as you do, you come across a campfire that's burning, and there's a seat in front of it. And so go ahead and sit down. And by now the day starts to turn into night. And it's just you and the fire. Take comfort watching it burn. The embers turning, the sounds of the crackling. And we work through our darkness and now sitting in the peace of the fire. I'd like you to think of if there is any other energy within you that wants to move through. And this is an energy of possibility. It could be a dream, an idea, something that you want to create in your life. Thinking about what wants you to listen to it that you haven't been listening to. Maybe dreams you're afraid of or things you said are unrealistic. So just noticing if there's any creativity lying dormant that wants to come out. And as you feel into it possibly, I'd like you to imagine what would happen if you allowed everything to come out. And almost envision what that life could look like, what you could create if you just had full self-expression. So imagine what you see yourself doing, who you see yourself being, and how you see yourself feeling. Maybe you see yourself connected, inspired, peaceful, in love. What do you want to create? And just enjoy any images that you can create for a future self. And now that we see that it's possible, all we have to do is get out of our own way, to climb the mountains that are in our mind. And think about what story is getting in the way of you doing this or being this person. Stories like, I'm not good enough, it will never work, I'm too old, I'm too young, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, don't have the ability. Any limiting beliefs that you may have. Imagine to the right of you is a pad and pen, and you get to pick it up and just write any of these stories down on this paper. anything that's not serving you. And then once you've gotten it out, I'd like you to rip off the paper, fold it up, and hold it in front of you. And this story that you're holding is not true. At any time, you can let it go and write a new one. So seeing if you can embrace that and repeating these words to yourself. I am capable. I am powerful. I am needed. I am guided. I am capable. I am powerful. I am needed. I am guided. And when you feel ready, let go of the story, throw it in the fire, watching it burn. And as it burns, the fire morphs into a door. So I'd like you to get up from your seat and walk to the door. Trevor has a song called Open Doors. He says, "It's all in perfect timing. I'm crushing all my doubt. Step into warrior status. All things come back around. I'm pulling back my arrow. I'm shooting for the soul. Standing strong like mountain. I'm coming home. I ain't afraid of shining. I ain't afraid of love. I'm gonna stop denying. This time I won't run." So say those last words to yourself. I ain't afraid of shining. I ain't afraid of love. I'm gonna stop denying. This time I won't run. Allowing yourself to shine here and repeating one or a few of those to yourself. Knowing that when you step through this door, it's a proclamation that you are creating a new story and that whatever you envisioned can and will happen. And so when you're ready, I'd like you to open the door and imagine yourself step through it with courage, imagining that this bright light is what you step into. And it brings you, transports you right back to where you're seated right now in your home. Surrounded again by the loving awareness that we started with. So rest here in your home. Remember all of that support, appreciating the work that you've done. Remembering that you are loved, you are whole, and you belong. And then whenever you feel complete, you can start to maybe bring some movement back into your body. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes, coming back to the space.